Hey there. It is November 1st. I just completed 10 months of topical steroid withdrawal now I'm starting my 11th month. Super excited. My start date was January 1st. It is now November 1st, 2017. So anyways, I wanted to share with you my notes and what's been happening this month. I ended up getting really gutsy the first week of October. And I figured that I was feeling well enough that felt stable enough, even though I wasn't perfect, but thought that traveling 8 hours away out of state would be a good idea. And it backfired. I didn't do well the whole trip out there, didn't do well the whole stay, lack of sleep. There wasn't a bathtub there, and just a lot happening. My skin flared really hard, and when I came back crying. It just wasn't easy to accept emotionally, and it set me off for weeks physically. So what that looked like is my whole upper body flared with hives and itching and the really deep clawing again all over my arms from shoulder down to my hands. And it just wasn't pretty. And the way back home, it even looked like I had a swollen eye. Like somebody punched me in the eye. It just really wasn't bad. It wasn't good. And I think a lot of that had to do with my body was just bombarded with a whole bunch of chemical fragrances and cleaners and pet dander, even though there wasn't any pets anymore in this house that I stayed at. It was at a relative's house. There's been years of pet buildup or whatever. Maybe that just triggered it. And of course the house that I was in was really warm, and that is something pretty evil for TSW. So all that said, it just wasn't a very good trip. So it is now three and a half weeks later, and I still don't feel like I've completely recovered, but I do feel like I'm progressively getting better. So I'm just not going to be taking a trip anytime soon. I'm just going to stay in my bubble, and I just feel like I do better, and I'm just in better control of my health, and it's more predictable. Now, with that said, I left today. My face was actually looking really cleared up and barely anything noticeable in red. And now I see in the video that my eyes are really red. And I just got back from a friend's house. She had just had a baby, and I was visiting with her for the afternoon. And so again, just kind of what I went over with my trip out of state, that, being in somebody else's home with different products and pet dander and whatever else, even though it seemed like a pretty clean home, it's just what my body does. It just reacts. So anyways, this whole month I have been, I've had a few spots that have looked and felt very infected. So I've been trying to treat them with essential oils or, triple antibiotic ointment, even bleach baths at times. And, everything is always manageable. It's fine. But I know it could be better too, but it's withdrawal, right? So basically I've had a lot of itching and picking at my skin again. And I started to lose my hair a little bit more, so that was kind of scary again. But it didn't last very long, just a couple weeks probably, and it's starting to get better again. What else? So my hands and my wrists and my arms and my chest are basically the worst right now. Obviously my face, comes and goes with flares. And then last video I reported that I was showering more, and I haven't taken a shower all month basically because it just hurts when my skin is raw. So I've been soaking more than not, and the whole time. And it just feels better on my skin to have the Epsom salt baths. And the other thing that I also mentioned last month was that my bed sheets finally got to the point where it's like, yay, I can crawl into bed and they don't look disgusting. But they're speckled with blood again. It hasn't been as bad probably the last week or so, but most of this month since that trip, it started back up. Ice packs in bed again and using during the day. I'm still on LDN, and that's low dose naltrexone for any of you that are wondering. And I'm only taking 1.5 milligrams at night, so 4.5 milligrams. And it's crazy how vivid dreams feel like they're real. So that's kind of been something that I can't wait till the day where I feel like I'm well enough and just want to get off of it. And it's not that it's terrible if that's the only side effect. It's just that some of my dreams are really weird. So I'm not like totally excited about having them continuously anymore. I'm still taking a lot of vitamins. I take the Shaklee Vitalizer Strip, and I take a few other things that are kind of minor, but for the most part, that's the Vitalizer Strip and the Life Shake are pretty much my main staples. And topically, I've been using Youth, which is also a Shaklee. It's a brand new Shaklee skincare regimen, and it's all naturally derived. It is gluten-free, cruelty-free. It's all natural. It's formulated without 2,500 questionable ingredients, or something else I was gonna say, but I don't remember. Anyways, it's been working really well for me. So I just keep using it. I use it on my face and on my arms and wrists and hands. It's supposed to be like a facial regimen, but it works really well for the sores. And on my chest too, I'll use it. So I don't remember what I mentioned the last time about helpers, but for the longest time, probably the first 6 months or so, I had friends that took turns being a Monday friend, a Tuesday friend, Wednesday friend, and so on. So I always had somebody here every day of the week, and they'd keep me company, and they'd entertain my kids, and they'd clean my house, and they'd help with food prep. And then the summer came, and everybody kind of got busy and distracted, and the help was still coming. It just wasn't as consistent as it used to be, which is totally fine because my kids were home and they were able to help too. And then this school year started up in the fall, and I decided to tell all my friends I want to try going solo and see how that goes. And I've been doing okay, but it's a couple months later, and I've decided that I still need help. So I have a hard time with my hands, with fine motor skills, because the skin on my hands and wrists and arms, they just hurt so bad that, like, if I don't use them, they feel fine, is I guess what I should say. But when I start to use them, I only have so many miles on my hands each day. So it is worth having somebody come in and assist with the wet chores, with dishes, with cleaning the bathroom, with all that stuff. Just odds and ends. Food prep, like I said. And so I asked a neighbor this week if she could come over 3 times a week just to kind of catch us up on dishes, and my husband can fill in on the weekends and different things, but just to give him a break so that he doesn't feel so overwhelmed working such a big long day and commuting and then trying to pick up the pieces. And we dirty a lot of dishes because I make a lot of things from scratch. So the kids even though they do chores, they don't scrub pots and pans very easily. And they're still pretty little for that. So it's just nice that my neighbor's going to come over and assist us with that. So I'm excited about that. And then this last weekend, I went to a women's conference. It was a Christian women's thing with Jennifer Rothschild and Margaret Feinberg. A couple other speakers as well. But it was just really nice. I got out with my mom, and I was a little hesitant, thinking, I don't know how I'm going to do. I would say that my face did flare like this, just like it did today, going over to my friend's house. It went over, my skin flared just the same this weekend, just being around other people's laundry detergents, their fragrances and hairsprays and whatever else, perfumes. Just sitting in a crowd of people or standing around a crowd of people. It's just a lot for my system. So I did show it on my face, but I did have a really good time. It was a Friday night and a Saturday morning event. And Friday night, I did kind of claw at my arms a little bit before going because I was I don't know how much information you guys want, but I was visiting at my parents' house, and it was a warm temperature home because my grandpa lives there. And so it just really kind of stirred up some itching on my arms and wrists. And then by the time I got to the conference that night, I couldn't move my hands or my arms. So, you know, when they're like, hey, fill this contact information card out or whatever, I was like, I cannot hold a pen right now. So my mom filled it out for me, and I was thankful, you know. And those things are optional anyways, right? But that's just something that she had to help me with. Saturday morning, I was fine again. I was fully functional, using my hands and my arms and feeling normal again. And then yesterday, we were back at my parents' house because it was Halloween and my kids were trick-or-treating. And just the heat just really, it feels like it cripples my ability to use my hands I feel like I use them more at home, like longer and better at home than I do when I travel. So anyways, my middle son tied my shoes at night, and the oldest one started the van up because it was just hard for me to grab the keys and to turn. So yeah, I mean, it comes and goes. I just have to be careful and limit myself and set boundaries and try not to overdo it. But that's a little bit where I'm at the 10, 11 month mark. So anyways, I'll just show you kind of close up where I'm at. Here's the texture of my skin is actually really soft, which is really nice. Because sometimes underneath my eyes for sure can get really crusty and broken and bleeding and scaly. But right now they are silky smooth. So it's surprising that my coloration is so red because I feel completely normal right now. It's so soft. And then let me just take this off so I can show you. My hands. I tend to pick at them a little bit in the mornings when I first wake up, and then usually I need a little bit of time to heal throughout the day, but it's nothing too bad. Sometimes I scratch at my arms in the night too, but anyways, I'm trying to move slow so I don't make it too blurry in the camera. So if you have any questions, let me know what they are. I'd be happy to answer them the best I know how. But yeah, life is pretty normal for the most part. Like I said, I just have to limit myself and let some things go as far as chores go and just be fine with that and let people help. I do work from home, and so I'm very capable of being at the keyboard and mouse. So I do work from home. I have this whole entire time. I even work out of the bathtub on my cell phone because I can text and check email and do trainings in the tub and whatever. But so yeah, just wanted to let you guys know. I just want to let you guys know what my daily routine looks like, what I'm able to do, what's hard to do, because I know everybody's story is different, but the more we know, the better it is that if you haven't started TSW yet, you can better prepare. But while you're going through it, then it's just nice to compare notes to see, where you're at and how you match up. Not that we have to play a comparison game, but when we know that somebody else is experiencing something similar and we don't feel so alone. Or likewise, if somebody figures something out that we don't know yet, it's just nice to have a different perspective and to try something new if we figure that, well, if it works for them, it might work for me. I don't know. So anyways, that's why I share the details that I do. So, yeah, I hope you guys have a really nice day, and yeah, I wish you the best of health. So we'll talk to you later. Bye.